Hey, what's up everyone? This is Lord Zath bringing you another episode of Zath's Replay Theater. And in this episode here, we've got Goldpile in the Iowa, the Tier 9 USN battleship. And he is divisioned up with Pope Shizzle in the Fletcher, and Belgrath the Sorcerer in an Udaloy. So, he is coming in with support. Oftentimes a good idea. Iowa's a fun ship, but she certainly can't handle everything at once. So having a couple of div mates comes in handy. And let's do a quick screenshot here as we talk about this ship. First of all, if you have never ever visited an Iowa class battleship, you owe it to yourself to visit one. Seriously, these things are badass. They are also somewhat disappointing. And the reason why I say they're somewhat disappointing is because they don't look like this in real life. You see, I'm going to pull my cursor over. A couple of the secondary batteries here are missing. This whole part is now this gigantic flat kind of a shield shape on the deck. And it's all this superstructure has been replaced with Tomahawk missiles. In the back here, instead of all this crane and catapult launchers, you've got a helicopter pad. So you get the idea. She's modernized, and you know, Iowa looks awesome today, but at the same time, sometimes I kind of wish I could have seen her in her true World War II glory days, which we just won't be able to see anymore. If you want to see a battleship that is in its World War II glory days still, consider checking out the Texas in Houston. The battleship Texas is, as some people might know, currently dealing with some issues. Unfortunately, the hull has sprung a few leaks, and it's gotten really bad, where it's just the steel has degraded quite a bit, and that's there's some people that are saying we very well might lose her. So, you know, if you have the opportunity to help support, I know Wargaming just recently did their event to try to get awareness for the Texas, and you know, maybe it might be worth kicking some money that way. Or if you don't, or if it's too late for that by the time this video comes out, then you know, maybe consider doing something else, like you know, just donating directly. But anyway, there's other battleships too. There's the Massachusetts and Battleship Cove, and there's also the North Carolina. That also has its World War II kind of setup. So let's talk about Goldpile's flags here. We see Zulu Hotel, which is Commander XP flag. Dragon flag for more Commander XP. Looks like a fire reduction flag, and also consumable reload 5%. 10% to credits cost for reduction there, and let's see, an extra 20% to heal, equal speed Charlie London for additional XP 50%, and the secondary flag. So he's kind of decked out for credit farming, not credit farming, I should say, for XP farming and Commander XP farming. And I'm looking at the camo. I believe this is Type 5 camouflage, which is just your standard camouflage. There's no bonuses here, and honestly, I think if you're gonna invest some flags into your commander XP, then you might want to consider doing some premium camouflage if you have some. And I can tell you a fun way to get that in a little bit. So it's interesting, we see at the talk was, do we leave C? And I realize Gold's division is all the way at A, but I hate seeing that. C is such a great cap point for either ship. Obviously battleships, you don't want to just jump right into C right off the bat. but it's still very useful. Whereas A, I just don't like A as much. I used to like it a lot. Now I don't anymore. It just feels like there's, especially from the north, it's too confined, I feel. There's only one way in from the north, one way in from the south, and then you've got this A-B connection, right? So you go into A and somebody gets on this side, you spend half the match just, you know, kind of dicking around in here and trying to hope the other person will get off the cap. Get off my cap. Anyway, so things about the Iowa. So Iowa's got 16-inch guns right there. American 16-inch guns firing American piercing shells, of course. These guns do a tremendous amount of damage, and once you get used to the ballistics, it does take a bit, but once you get used to those ballistics, boy, do those guns act. They're just great. So, overpen there on the first shot on the hipper. And now Pope Shizzle is currently in the A-cap. You're not going to see a lot of text communication between these guys because they typically are on voice chat. But you can see how already the kind of pissing war has begun, right? Where you've got Gold on here at the side. The Yamato is now coming in. That's a real concern. The Yamato is able to lull pen anything. So that can be a concern. Goldpile is wisely backing off. And the reason I say wisely backing off is because that Yamato, while still having a shot on him right now, is slowly but surely going to lose that shot as Gold continues to try to punish this bow on hipper. And he got a pen this time. I believe he is able to overmatch the bow of the hipper, and what that means is that he's able, his AP shell will defeat the bow of that hipper without any problem. And to figure this out, you take the caliber of the gun, which I believe is 406 millimeter, and you divide by 14.3. Now, if that number is higher than the armor plating of the ship, then it will overmatch. So I'm going to do some quick math for you while in the battle, as the battle progresses here, so I can kind of tell you what's going on with that. Looks like they're going to cap A, which they did. And interestingly enough, Goldpile's team has also capped C. And that's huge because now the enemy team is kind of stuck, right? They can push into C, and it's interesting, the Kagero by himself is capped. So I would expect a Des Moines to jump right in, pop his radar, and nuke the Kagero with the help of the Neptune and the Kid. Let's see if that's what happens. Yep, so Iowa's guns are 406 millimeter, so 406 divided by 14.3 is 28.39. So what Wargaming does is they always round to the nearest whole number, so that should be 28. And so now let's take a look at a little bit of rub action there. That's kind of cool. And let's go take a look at the hipper that he was shooting at. Now, you'll notice that Goldpile is not rushing into A necessarily. He's got 3 ships with him, actually 4, the Montana and the 2 Yamatos. So they're coming together, and the important thing about that is, one, they're not really being challenged. I mean, there's a Shimakaze over here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see torpedoes. Hey, look, there they are. But at the same time, there's only really the Yamato that's there to stop it. So, I mean, you know, this is definitely something that that they're going to be able to take advantage of here. And oops, I think to be honest, yep, as expected, C has now been taken, and poor Belgrath just went down to the Shimakaze for shame. So now Goldpile and his group, they gotta kill this Yamato as quickly as possible. And is that Yamato AFK or something? Nope, he is firing back. Oh, ow. Goldpile showed way too much broadside. Now the thing about these ships is that the Citadel has recently been lowered, so it is more difficult to get hit. But at the same time, I'm gonna pause here. But at the same time, the shells when they come in, the angle that they came in was right about here, right? And if you look at it, the armor belt is here, but I think the shell came in right here, which is kind of where the bow piece meets the armor plating of this belt. And so the shell kind of came in, overmatched the bow, because the Yamato has what's called lull pen, essentially. It has that 14.3 times advantage, and so that shell comes right in, penetrates the bow, overmatches it, and hits the Citadel. And my cat is very interested in the microphone, so I do apologize if you're hearing some sniffing sounds. That's definitely not me. That's my cat. Alright, so Goldpile made a big mistake there, and he took way more damage than he should have. I think what he was trying to do was get his rear gun to bear, but he paid a pretty heavy price for that. The other thing I want to mention too, point out, is that he's running HE shells, high explosive, which makes sense because the Yamato is bow onto him, and he is unable to overmatch the Yamato's bow. So he's forced to use HE, or if he fires AP, he has to aim high, like into the superstructure, if he wants to do any damage with it. Now, once again, just like his Harakaze replay, I'm noticing that he's not using priority target, so he doesn't know how many people are targeting him right now. And I think that's kind of a, I don't know. Personally, I'd prefer to be notified how many people, just so I can be kind of more aware of what's going on around me. But that being said, you know, everybody's different, and that's one of the cool things about this game, right? Is you can set things up however you want. So Goldpile is now looks like moving in again with the support of the other battleships. We saw that Pope got the kill on the Yamato, so that's good. I would suggest, Gold, that you slow down. Sorry, gotta go back to his gun view here. Slow down. You need to get back. Get back! You need to let somebody else handle the game for a little bit here. Okay? And I think this is something that a lot of people make mistakes with, is they feel like they have to push. They have to push. And they have to get up there, do the damage, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is, he's so low, he's just gonna get focused. And you can see Pope is trying to come in now, and I have a feeling that he's gonna lay a smoke screen for Gold and the rest of the battleships. But boy, he's getting focused now. He's getting focused by the Neptune. He's gonna get focused by that Yamato that just suddenly appeared. A wild Yamato appears. And then see, there's he can't angle towards both of those battleships, and I think if he would have slowed down, maybe even reversed, it would have allowed for him to be able to dodge a lot of damage. And there he goes, down. Now take a look at those battleships behind. 2 ships that are at almost full health. And even farther back, I think the other battleship, the other Yamato, is at pretty full health too. So I think this is a bit of a misplay, and you can see how Gold paid the price for that. He definitely should not have pushed as hard, especially when you're below half and you've got those other ships that are even higher, a tier higher than you. You let them go and do their thing. Now the question is, will they win? Maybe. Pope's a good destroyer player. I have no idea what that Hindenburg is doing way up north there. Maybe he was trying to shoot that Montana, that's my guess. And one thing that you notice Gold doing is moving the map around like crazy. He's watching everything, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's communicating, I'm sure, with Pope and the Fletcher to kind of say, here's what's going on, what I'm seeing. And I think that's something that's really important, especially in voice comms. If you lose your ship and you die, well, don't just start complaining and bitching and moaning and all that kind of stuff. Instead, try to help your team. Give him suggestions. Say, hey, did you notice A is being capped? I'm sure he said that to Pope, and Pope's gonna nail that Shimakaze now, assuming he doesn't take a torpedo randomly. Oftentimes you can use it as a way to say, okay, here's where the guy's turrets are pointed, right? So if you're looking at Yamato here, the Yamato is pointing, west or something like that, and so you can use that to also gauge. Is it safe to turn? Is it safe to show a little broadside? Like what should I be doing in that situation? So I think helping the team is definitely something that you want to do if you go down. Try to check that salt at the door, if it will, and let you can argue over the battle afterwards if you want. That Yamato is burning quite nicely. The other Yamato died. And yeah, I mean, it would seem like the battleships that were with Gold weren't as strong as he was. And the Montana there is just kind of, he's gonna beach. Yamato, one of them died, the other one is shooting into the Des Moines. Decent hits. But this is why really good players typically don't die early in the match, because they're not able to do anything else to affect the outcome of the battle. I mean, other than trying to communicate and help your team, but that's not the same as being there. Nice hit, as being there and getting those shots in. As this Yamato Fuzzballs is probably going to go down too. Will he get that last shot off, and will that last shot kill the Des Moines? That shot has to kill the Des Moines for this team to have a shot at winning. He did it. Nice. We knew that was coming. Whew. So we've got a kid somewhere down south. Pope is trying to save the only remaining battleship with smoke. Smoke mechanics have changed, by the way. If that Montana shoots out of that smoke, he will be detected. So you need to figure out when's the right time to fire, because as soon as you fire, you're detected for 20 seconds. So, like right now, don't fire. You're completely broadside to the Yamato. That's just dumb, right? You don't want to fire. And looks like Pope is going to go for a torpedo run. Makes perfect sense. Probably what I would do in that situation. He is being capped, so the kid has gone back to B cap. Let's see if Pope does something about this. Also, Wow. That lion is continuing to just sail straight ahead. Probably to his death right there. Gonna take 4 or 5 torpedoes. 6 torpedoes, he's gone. Nice kill, Pope. God, maybe I should retitle this commentary Pope Shizzle in the Fletcher. Oh boy, so now's an interesting question. Do you go for the Yamato? Or do you go for the cap reset and possibly the kill on the kid? Now the question, of course, is where's that Neptune? There's the Neptune. Alright, and of course that's right when the Hindenburg fires, and the Hindenburg is making love to an island right now. Not a very dignified position. Now the kid, if the kid is smart, is going to just sail straight to A from his position. And there's no way, if that happens, that Pope Shizzle is going to be able to catch up in time. You see some communication there about the Yamato's DCP being down. So that's good. What that means is that the Yamato has healed, or sorry, has used his damage control party to get rid of the fire. And why is that important? Because Pope is about to come in with torpedoes, and you can see now the kid has been spotted, and Pope is engaging the kid off the screen there. There we go. Thank you, Gold. And so now Pope is going to challenge the B-cap, and that kid is doing some really dumb things. Namely, just sitting there. He should have gone to A. He didn't, and that's a big mistake for that person. Yamato is going to dodge the torps, no problem. It's one of the challenges when you fire bow at a target that is bow on, I should say. But you can see Pope now is not afraid of the kid, and he's going to try to set the Yamato back on fire again from the safety of smoke. And that safety is relative though, because the kid does have torpedoes. You can see that he moved out of the smoke there for a second, and he's doing it because, yep, he anticipated torpedoes coming. Had he stayed in that position, those torpedoes would have hit him. The kid only has one launcher, so now that the torpedoes have gone through, he knows that there's no challenge now torpedo-wise. So if he can win this gun duel, which it looks like he will, that's it. Nice. And he got Kraken Unleashed. Nice job. His clan, by the way, K stands for Kraken. So Kraken for a Kraken. We always like to post that when we get that. It's kind of fun. So Montana still going for HE, still trying to get the Yamato on fire. Shizzle's going to have to turn around, get into B cap just to get a little bit of a safety net in case this Montana goes down. Montana taking some decent hits. Remember Yamato Lulpen. And that the Neptune, I'm sorry, just got detected. As the Yamato realizes he's got only one shot here, and that's going to be to charge the Montana. Try to get that third turret around. You can see Shizzle saying, just stay alive. This is the part where I typically watch my team fall apart and get really frustrated in the process. Good shot. Done. And that secures the win. Nice job. So here's a wonderful situation where Gold, his team carried him to the victory. And I would say definitely his division mate of Pope Shizzle. Oh, that was quick. So Gold, thank you for the replay. I would say that your greatest weakness there was not recognizing that you were being focused. Now, had you been running priority target, you might have seen that you were being targeted by 3 or 4 ships, and that might have been enough to get you to slow down. But yeah, that was definitely the big mistake that you made there. The other big mistake that you made was getting a little bit on the greedy side, showing a little bit too much side, and getting punished by the Yamato for that. But altogether, I think you know, it was good to see some other play after you died. I appreciate that you spectated, and you were very much interested in seeing how the rest of the battle would go. I know you were communicating with your div mates. Don't forget that there are 9 other people that are playing too, so you know, communication with them would help as well. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching. As always, do your comment, like, subscribe thing, and you know, send me replays, and I'll continue to feature these. Thanks. Take care, everyone.